Interview. Is he alive?
Isaac Clarke. I'm going to show you some images and I want you to tell me about them.
When we originally set out to create the original Dead Space and come up with the concept of the game, we really worked hard to establish a fiction and baseline canon for the universe so that we would have the ability to kind of pull in different things if we got the opportunity to make future games. So one of the things that's been really fun about working on the project is now that we're actually working on Dead Space 2, getting to kind of go back into that canon of stuff that we had and kind of pull out things that we could put into Dead Space 2. Another thing that's been really cool about working on this franchise is that we've got a lot of support from the community. We've got a lot of players that enjoyed the first game, and we're trying to interact with them a lot on this game, giving them an opportunity to toss out ideas that they think might be cool and something that we could actually put in the game. To be clear, we've got a big long vision and a big expansive history and story there that we want to tell, and we've done that through our comics, our animated feature, different games like Extraction, and now Dead Space 2. But what we really want to do is, where possible, kind of take feedback from the community and try to fit it into the game. So our main areas of focus on Dead Space 2 are really around, bringing the terror to space, staying in line with what made the last game popular with people and what people enjoyed, right? So it's the atmosphere, it's the tension, it's the horror. But the other thing we want to do is we want to evolve the overall game. We want to make Isaac control a little bit better. We want to have new upgrades, new weapons, and of course we want to have our story really be up front and present in the development of the game. So I would say, as far as areas that we're focusing on, we're really focusing on Isaac as the main hero and ways that we can improve the way he feels for players, the way that you strategically dismember enemies, and the way that you now use even more strategic elements to defeat the necromorphs, and giving people an opportunity to interact more with the environment, with our interactive and reactive environments. And of course, we've got a whole other thing that we're working on, which is our all-new multiplayer that I can't really say much about. So the atmosphere in Dead Space was really important to us. We wanted to make sure that we created the right mood, the right level of creepiness, and really have that reinforce the scares and the terror in the game. On Dead Space 2, we want to take that high bar that was established by the team and evolve past that. We really want to go beyond what we had in Dead Space 1. And one of the areas that we're trying to achieve that with is the variety of environments and looks that you'll see as you progress through the game. One of our goals is that we want each chapter in the game, when it unfolds, to be a new treat for the player. So in the previous game, when you're on the Ishimura, you're inside the ship, there's not a lot that you could do. It's not going to look vastly different from place to place. It is a big mining vessel. The architecture, etc., supports what it is. On the Sprawl, which is this giant space station out on one of Saturn's moons, Titan, we actually have an opportunity to play a lot more with the looks of the environment. So, our goal is when the player boots up the game and goes from chapter to chapter, there's something new and interesting and different for them to see in each location. So the fact that Isaac has already kind of weathered one necromorph situation is really playing through into Dead Space 2. If you think about it, if you were in the middle of the shit, so to speak, like Isaac was, the next time that you saw these guys, you'd be a little bit more hardened, you'd be a little bit more prepared for dealing with them. And so in Dead Space 2, we really want to make sure that Isaac, his voice, his emotion comes out, and we're doing that through actually giving Isaac a voice this time. So you're going to hear him speak, you're going to kind of get a little bit more of kind of what's going on in his head as you play the game, and then as it manifests to the player in terms of gameplay, we want to blow that out through new weapons and through improved controls. So in Dead Space 2, obviously, we're still leveraging the idea that Isaac's an engineer. So it's really important to us to make sure that the weapons support that profession and make sense in that space. With the Sprawl being a giant city, there's an opportunity for some more conventional weapons to kind of creep into the game. But when we sit down and determine what types of new weapons we want to do, we always go back to the fact that Isaac's an engineer. So we're thinking about the weapons in terms of them being tools. So a few of the things that we showed today included our javelin gun, which could be used to nail things up to a surface, but interestingly enough, can also be used to impale enemies and nail them to walls. We've got our Detonator Weapon, which, if you think about in terms of mining, might be used to clear out an area with an explosive, kind of contact explosive effect. So the idea, we talked about the Detonator today, I showed you that, I showed you the Javelin gun. Those are two of the new weapons that we're going to have in Dead Space 2. So Dead Space 2 is going to be coming out on Xbox 360 and PS3, and it's coming out later-ish when it's ready. So that's what we're really focusing on, is putting the game out when it's ready and it's super kick-ass.